podcast where we watch Blu-rays and the biscuit is defying gravity. It's James and Jade. Hello.
Hello.
So, we've been busy this week.
We've been so busy.
Podcast-wise, it's been quite a hectic week.
Yes.
Yes, because How to Train Your Dragon dropped.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was Tom and Jerry versus the Wizard of and the Wizard of Oz in preparation for this main event.
Yes.
Here we are, we made it.
We finally got here, guys. Today is Wicked Day. Yay!
And what a wonderful world it is.
It really is.
The film came out.
Mm-hmm.
This has been a long time coming.
It really has. So when the musical first dropped,
Yep.
it was instantly loved.
You can't just drop a musical again.
You really do drop a musical.
Okay, good.
You know what,
Okay.
everyone was like, here it is. I mean, the book had been out before.
Okay.
So people knew of the book.
Just a quick warning. We're probably going to say the word popular quite a lot in this episode. It's not because we're quoting it, even though we are, but...
It's pretty bloody popular,
yeah.
this show.
Was the book popular?
I think so. I mean, the Wizard of Oz works, I think, have always been popular.
Yeah. But it's not the guy who... It's an off-brand thing.
I don't know offhand, truth be told.
No,
I'd be lying if I said I did.
No, it is. It's an off-brand thing.
Okay.
It's a different writer.
Okay.
But it's like a modern... It's a modern prequel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I've heard it's quite dark compared to the stage show.
Okay.
My sister's read it.
Did she like it?
Yeah, she did, but she said the same thing. She said it's not quite as fluffy and as cutesy as the show is.
I'd argue that the show isn't all fluffy and cutesy.
It isn't, but if that's how it is, and those scenes that are dark in the musical are dark, what must the book be like?
Yeah. So, okay, so the musical dropped, and then who was the main cast in that? Was it Adele Dazeem?
Adele Dazeem and Kristen
Chenoweth.
Yeah.
And were the talks of a film being made back then?
Instantly people wanted a movie. I think it became so big on YouTube when it was it the Tonys?
Yeah.
Where they did their little segment, which is the end of Act 1, which is where we get to define gravity, and it's everyone knows that.
Okay.
It's so famous. People love it. I loved it. I think I had a rip of it from LimeWire.
Oh dear.
We all had a cheeky LimeWire rip of that.
Uh-huh.
There was always talks, I think, about a film happening.
It just never took off.
And it just, for whatever reason, it's just never happened. And I think people always wanted Adele. So we know her name, by the way.
Uh-huh. We know her name, but
yeah.
I'll never get over that moment.
Because we can't believe we did it.
Yeah.
But yeah. And Kristen, they really wanted those two ladies to be the main cast. But unfortunately, it's gotten later on in the game now. Mm-hmm. I think they'd still do a cracking job of singing it, but I think they're not maybe quite right age-wise for those characters anymore.
No, not at all. So...
we've got a new cast. Okay.
This film, I've seen... I don't know if this is true, but there were talks or storyboards for this to be an animated movie.
That makes sense.
Disney-wise.
Yeah.
That would have been banging.
Yeah, because you can do anything really with Amazon, with a
with a Disney
with an animated movie.
I don't know if that's true, but I'm just if I manifest it, it'll happen.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. Here we've got the director of Crazy Rich Asians and In the Heights. Have you seen any of those?
Neither of them.
Oh, okay. So this is the director John M. Chu. Mm-hmm. I think he's quite good. I haven't seen Crazy Rich Asians.
That really took off though, didn't it?
But that blew up that year. And In the Heights is a banger.
Is that Lin-Manuel?
It's yeah. Oh, Piragua. Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think I'm glad they got him involved in this because it makes sense.
Yeah, someone who's dealt with a musical before as well.
But they do that a lot, Hollywood. Mm-hmm. You know, what's the guy? Is it Rob Marshall?
Yeah.
Where
he can't keep away from a musical.
He loves them. And that, because he did Chicago and he got lucky because that's a banger. But everyone since has not been banger.
Name them.
I can name a few. The Little Mermaid remake.
It made bank and people did like it.
Into the fucking Woods. That's not its official title. But I don't know.
I'll always think Into the Woods had poor casting.
I completely agree. We'll never touch that on this podcast, but Into the Woods is not better than Space Jam.
Yeah, no, sorry guys. I mean, that musical was not for me whatsoever. Maybe I'm being unfair. Maybe I need to see it on the stage. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's where it's supposed to be.
That's where it should stay.
But I don't know. That film just bored the fuck out of me.
Where I will always say a filmed production of the musical will always be better than the movie. Mm-hmm. And here we are at the Wicked podcast. Mm-hmm. And I don't think that applies here.
I agree.
Yeah.
I know we had comments about our previous trailer talk about Wicked.
Yeah.
Because we'd not long since seen the show. And we made comments about how we felt the show was dated.
It is dated.
I still think that.
Not in its subject matter. I think that's quite timeless.
Yeah.
It's dated in its look.
In its staging. I think it's dark.
Yeah.
I think it doesn't visually excite me. I mean, there's not all of it.
Okay.
Don't get me wrong. Some of it, you get some flashes of brilliance.
Yeah.
I still think it needs to move on with the times.
I agree. This is in terms of theatre anyway. I think the problem I had with it is that we went to see Back to the Future before Wicked.
Yeah.
And Back to the Future is just like all projections and it's lights and it's a show. Mm-hmm. And then it's back to the old ways.
Yeah.
A little bit with people just on pulleys and stuff.
Which we don't mind, but I feel like Wicked could do with freshening up a little bit. And I feel like watching the movie now and seeing how bright and colourful and how beautiful it is. I mean, yeah, there is some callbacks to the stage show, but it just shows you could do a hell of a lot more with things like projections.
Yeah, absolutely. We spoke about our Golden Biscuit nominees just before we went into it, and we were umming and ahhing whether to put Wicked on there, whether we thought Wicked would make it. Mm-hmm. Having watched it now in full in its entirety. Mm-hmm. Will it make any of those? I'm talking the little ones, production design and...
Oh yeah, I think it'll get costume.
Good. I'm so glad. Because you were saying Lisa Frankenstein for a long time.
I loved the costuming in Lisa Frankenstein and I will down that hill.
Okay. But this is something else.
It really is. The costumes in this are incredible.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that we get a refresh from what we see on the stage show. And this is not me blasting the stage show, despite what it may sound like.
You like the stage show a lot, don't you?
I do like the stage show. Again, I just feel like it needs updating. I feel like it just needs a bit of a refresh. I find some of the costumes still a little bit tired now.
It's set in its ways and it needs a revamp.
I love the kind of I loved the refreshed costuming that Glinda had. Mm-hmm. I loved the fact that we lost the crappy little hat that Elphaba wears all the way through Shiz University.
Yeah.
The
little beret thing.
That little beanie hat. It's horrible. It's awful.
Uh-huh.
You make her look like the top of a pencil. It's no.
Okay.
You can make somebody look nerdy without slapping that hat on.
Yeah.
And I felt like she looked better in this film. I think the costuming for all of the characters as well just seemed so much nicer.
Well, let me give you an example. I went to college in 2006 and 2007, at which point Wicked came out, or it reached our group of friends. Mm-hmm. I'd never seen Wicked, and you know when people say, you should watch that, you should watch it, my head goes, I'm never going to touch that. Mm-hmm. Which is why it's took me so long. Mm-hmm. I don't even do Game of Thrones for the same reason.
Okay.
So...
You're missing out a little bit.
I appreciate... I've seen it now. I'm not.
I feel like you are.
Oh, Game of Thrones, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I couldn't care less.
Missing out.
Yeah, too many characters.
Missing out.
Yeah. Anyway, but the costumes and stuff that people showed me, they haven't changed since. Like, we saw it this year, and it's the same costumes and set and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Move on.
Yeah, we get that people like it. We get all the musicals do the same thing, like Phantom and Les Mis, and they're all guilty of it.
Yeah.
But I feel like this show, it's nice to see the movie refresh a little bit of it.
It pops.
It really does.
Yeah. I think with the colour scheme anyway, like going with the pink and the green, those colours work quite well together. They established the movie.
Yeah. And just purely throwing all of Glinda's costumes as pink was perfect. However, one thing I did miss, though, from the show was the yellow dress that she wears in the Emerald City.
Well, Ariana and Cynthia Erivo at the premiere, I think, called back to that.
They did.
Yeah.
And I thought that looked great, but we don't really get the steampunky elements quite so much in this costuming. It's more tailored in the film.
But I don't miss it.
I don't miss it either, and I think the steampunky vibe of it was maybe what was dating it a little bit.
It looks quite drab in comparison to the movie. I think
this felt brighter, and I loved it. I felt like the colours really popped on screen.
Yeah.
I just think it was beautiful.
We had a trailer talk about the Wicked movie, and we had some opinions about it. We weren't sold on some of the actors in it, and we were sold on some of the actors in it. Now that we've seen it in its entirety, Do you think this is cast well?
Yes.
I agree. And I feel bad that we sort of went in a little bit hard.
Yeah, I think despite some of the controversy it's had...
And we'll get to that.
In its run-up.
Yep.
I feel like both of the leading actresses were very likeable in this.
Yeah, I agree.
I thought that they were... I mean, Ariana especially, fucking hell.
Well, we should talk about the controversy that's come up a bit.
Yes, because it's a shame that this has happened.
It really is. Okay, so and it's weird that a film like this has had that controversy, but it didn't need to.
No.
So if you don't know what's happened, basically there was a fan poster made of the movie, the poster.
Yeah.
Where essentially. Well, okay.
They'd copied the show poster.
Yeah. But
they'd popped the two leading actresses in those poses.
Well, they recreated it anyway, and it's a nice homage, but it's not quite a good shot-for-shot remake of the poster. And a young fan, FYI, has taken it upon themselves to just bring the hat down and move Ariana a little bit closer, and that's it. And people went, that's nice. That's a nice touch.
Yeah, we see that it's matching the...
Yeah, I think the lips are brighter as well.
Yeah, the lips are red, which I think is a part of the movie poster.
And lead actress Cynthia Erivo, she called it out. She took offence to it. It's iffy ground. But do you think it was warranted what she said? What
offends you and what upsets you, I think, is personal to you in that respect.
And you're right. Your feelings are valid.
Absolutely. However, the way she went in on a young fan, ultimately a young fan, for something that I didn't feel was warranted, and you could see where it came from as well.
It came from a good place.
I think it's really easy for us to see that it came from a place of love.
Yeah.
And I find it sad that Cynthia didn't see it like that.
That it got kind of dragged into this.
Yeah, but I think that by calling out a young fan member like that, I don't know, it felt like it just felt really, really nasty. It felt almost like bullying.
Yeah.
And that's what I didn't like. Okay. That didn't feel nice.
Since then, the press junkets have been very safe.
Yeah.
And they've been both of these actresses have been a bit more approachable. They've been crying in every interview. And I'm not going to lie, the constant crying and emotion is getting very boring. Agreed. I think some of it is fake. Some of they're gushing all the time, and it's like, guys, we know that you love each other. We know that you love the movie and it's special to you, but come on. However, their chemistry is legit. Yeah, 100%. Can't fault them at all. So I see both sides to it, but it's important that I think it should be addressed. Yeah, no, it should be balanced. And again, I feel like even though I don't, from everything after the controversy as well, I found Cynthia particularly unlikable in everything I've seen her do. Yeah, okay. But putting that completely to one side... Which we are doing. You cannot fault her performance in this. She's great. She's absolutely perfect. She really sells it. She's so good. Now, it's tough because we haven't seen Idina Menzel. So we don't know what the ins and outs of her performance were. No. However... We've seen certain actresses do it. We saw one together, and you've seen one before. I've seen one separately, yeah. How does Cynthia Erivo rank in there? I know what I would like to see in the character. Okay. And I feel like Cynthia had a really nice touch with it. I said to you, I particularly liked the way she delivered The Wizard and I. I thought that was beautiful. Okay. I loved the kind of added whimsy she brought to it. Whimsy, which we don't really get with Elphaba so much. In the versions I've seen it played. Yeah. It was nice to see that element, that kind of childlike vibe that she had. Do you think she looks the part? Yeah. I agree. There were moments where I thought, this is a teenage girl. This is a teenage witch. Yeah, the way she moves her face is great. Yeah, yeah. There are moments in it, though, where I think she's only got like two expressions, where she looks either really sad or really happy. What did you say? She's either got smell fart face or just seen puppy face. Yeah, she's got really sad eyebrow face or this is the happiest day of my life face. And it took me a while to stop noticing that. But again, is that down to the director? It could be. It could just be what she's given. I don't think the script is particularly strong. No. For Wicked. Nor do I think the songs are. We'll get to it though. Yeah. The best performance in this by a country mile... And that's not saying that Cynthia isn't perfect, because she is, but
Someone manages to just enter godlike stratosphere for no reason.
Yeah, it's Peter Dinklage. That's Ariana Grande.
What the actual hell?
She basically wanted this part for a long time. This is Glinda, the Good Witch.
Yeah.
And before, like, once they said, "Oh, we're doing a Wicked movie," I think she sort of like did dodgy dealings. It's like,
no, she didn't.
I bet she did. And she's like, you know that Wicked movie you're doing? Just here's 20 quid.
No,
just
get 20 quid.
Yeah. She auditioned.
I can give it you in there. Two £10 bills.
The auditioning process was quite strict, though. She auditioned more than once.
Yeah.
But she wanted it. She's performed some of the songs before.
Yeah.
With Mika, is that right?
Well, Mika She Did Popular, that was released.
Oh, okay, yeah. And that's quite good. But she's something else in this movie.
Yeah, she's perfect. I mean, she was an actress already beforehand. I think people sometimes forget that because she's had such a successful music career.
What show was she on?
I can't, do you know what? I didn't watch it, but I know she was Disney.
She was Disney.
She was one of the Disney girls.
Yeah.
And she's so perfect in this. And I think a lot of people as well, when they first heard the name Ariana, they was like, oh shit, it's her. She got it because she's a pop star. You can say whatever the hell you want about how she might have got it.
Yeah.
She's perfect.
She's perfect.
She's absolutely perfect in this role.
It's almost Oscar worthy.
I agree.
But if you can nominate Ryan Gosling for Ken,
then you should be nominated.
Then Ariana should be nominated for this. I don't think she'll get nominated for this. Mm-hmm. I think the heavy lifting for her character comes in the second act, which is next year.
You do?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think that there's a lot more drama to it.
Okay.
This is a good comedic bit for Glinda. She's the comic relief, essentially.
Yeah, so she's the fun in Act 1, and then in Act 2. The whole story's changed. After Defying Gravity, the whole tone of the story's changed.
Yeah. So look, it's very dark. So look, don't expect a good time.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good time. It's straight up, but yeah, and they work well together. I believed their chemistry together. When they hated each other, that I felt it. Mm-hmm. When they liked each other, I really felt it. Yeah,
and it felt more natural as well, the fact that they had these differences. But you know what? They made it work and they did connect really well.
Because this is split into two parts and essentially we're getting Act 1 now and Act 2 later.
Yeah.
And they've dragged out the runtime. The runtime for this film is like 2.5 hours. Mm-hmm. Do you think that gave them more chance to expand on that chemistry?
Yeah, 100%.
Did you think it worked?
Yes.
And benefited it?
I also think it benefited it by having the extended chemistry with Fiyero as well. Fiyero? I don't know how I'm saying his name.
Fiyero? Jonathan Bailey.
Jonathan Bailey, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like the added chemistry with his character was also massively appreciated because from the get-go, you get that there's some sort of spark between him and Elphaba, and I think that's good. We should see the kind of underlying current to it.
Yeah.
And it helps as well that he's absolutely magnetic on screen as well.
He's having a great time.
He is. He's perfect.
We should talk about your history of Fiyeros, though, because it's not been easy for you.
No, so I've seen the stage show twice.
Yeah.
I've had the same Fiyero twice. Uh-huh. Neither time was he particularly great. Not saying it's the whole thing was terrible or anything like that. It's the fact that he wasn't really a strong singer. Mm-hmm. And in a show like Wicked, where everybody's so good,
yeah, especially
your two leading ladies, he needs to be up there with them.
And he wasn't.
He just wasn't. He was very obviously the weakest part of the performance, and that took me out of it. Uh-huh. However, when they got to one of the songs in the second half, As Long As You're Mine, it was beautiful.
Oh, okay. But that's just standing and singing.
It kneeling and singing.
Ah, okay. Jonathan Bailey was good in this.
I thought he was good in this.
Let's just go across the board, basically. No one lets the side down.
No, they don't.
Everyone's on their A game. I think everyone knows what they're invested in.
100%. And I like the little comedy aspects he brought to the role as well.
I think that's what the pacing of this film did well. Anytime I thought it was starting to lull, something happened.
Which is really good for like a 3-hour film.
Yeah, exactly. So it started to lull. I was like, oh, I'm bored of this university. Oh, Fiero's here. Okay. This is bringing new life into it. And there's like, oh, this is starting to slog again now. Mm-hmm. Oh, the mates now. That's a new dynamic. Freshens it up.
Yeah.
That's getting a bit slow. We have to go to Oz.
Yeah.
There's always something to keep me invested. And I vibed with it.
No, I agree. But annoyingly, I don't find that the stage show does that for me. And that one's obviously a lot shorter.
Yeah.
So how come I was more engaged with the story with it being longer on screen than I was with the show?
The problem is now, I think everyone everyone likes Wicked, I think, because of those big moments.
Mm-hmm.
And people ignore the stuff that doesn't work. There's a lot of stuff in Wicked that I don't think works.
No, and again, the perfect example was next to us in the screening was the lady who had already made comments saying, "Oh, I'm going to sing all the way through this. I know all this."
Yeah.
It turns out she only knew one song really, and that was Defying Gravity. And even then, she only knew the Defying Gravity parts of the song where she sings that line.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing in between. And it's like people, because that song is so iconic, and because the end of Act 1 is so iconic with that number, they forget just how long it is.
Oh yeah.
That number goes on forever.
Uh-huh. We get 11 songs in this.
Mm-hmm.
Let me say that again. We get 11 songs in this, so I'd say that's pretty good for a musical.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Good soundtrack. I would argue that 3, maybe even 4 in this movie are any good, and the rest are forgettable.
Which ones are the good ones?
Well, okay. Well, I'm going to do them in order, if you like.
Okay.
I think Dancing Through Life in this movie was good.
Yeah.
But only because of Jonathan Bailey's charisma and the choreography.
Oh, the choreography was perfect.
This is the point of the show where we go, okay, let's talk about the choreography. Absolute banging throughout.
Oh, yeah.
No faults.
I loved it.
Yeah. Then for me, it goes Defying Gravity. I think Defying Gravity gets bogged down in the, I hope you're happy. I hope you're happy now.
Yeah, that does pull you away.
Yeah. Yeah, you've got a good crescendo at the end, but yeah, you've got to get through 4 minutes of all that stuff.
And I don't think it helps either that the movie drags that out even further.
Good Lord. They sang one line of the song and then they broke for like 24 minutes of dialogue. And
they came back again.
And they put it back again. Then it's Popular, which we'll get to because it's a personal highlight of mine. Mm-hmm. And What Is This Feeling is my favourite song in this.
Okay.
Film/show.
Okay.
Again, What Is This Feeling was choreographed so well, and it did what I needed it to do.
Yeah.
Which was absolutely slap me across the face in how good it was.
And did it?
Oh yeah. But there wasn't anything better than that.
And that's quite early on as well.
Exactly, yeah. Apart from Popular.
You liked Popular.
It's a good song. And
I like to rolling around on the floor.
Yeah. But she sells it, yeah. There are other big name actors in this. Mm-hmm. We should get to them. Ariana Grande's boyfriend's in this.
Yeah.
His name is Ethan Slater. He was the original SpongeBob in the SpongeBob movie.
Oh, go on, lad.
Go on, lad.
He was really cute as well, to be fair. I don't find he has much to do in any of the show, really.
He gets a bit more stuff to do in the second one.
He does, yeah. And I feel, again, his story's a bit...
Yeah.
All over the shop with the way... If you're going to really merge The Wizard of Oz with Wicked...
Yeah.
His part of the story, for me, it doesn't make sense. That's a glaring plot hole.
Michelle Yeoh's in this. Mm-hmm. Fresh off Oscar-winning performance in Everything Everywhere All at Once. Mm-hmm. Vibe. Love her. She's great. She was good as Madame Morrible.
Morrible, yeah.
Yeah. We get Jeff Goldblum as the Wizard of Oz. Mm-hmm. Now that's... Okay, I said this to you in the car on the way back. That's good casting. I'd have liked someone else to do it, but there's literally no one else who could have done it.
Yeah, I said to you, I really liked the way that he's clearly channeling his inner Walt Disney with that performance.
I don't like how okay, you meet the wizard, and we'll get to that in a sec, but then he's like, oh, you should always give the people what they want. And he says it in his Jeff Goldblum voice, and then he does a little dance. Oh,
his little tap dance.
A little tappity tap, but it looks like he's shaking a shit out the bottom of his trousers.
Yeah. Do you even think that was his feet?
No, I don't think that was his feet. I think they did a Muppets Most Wanted on it.
Because I felt like when he went behind that curtain, I thought, that's not Jeff.
No. It doesn't even move. They've not even attempted to move like Jeff Goldblum. He's 70 years old-ish. A favourite character of mine, not in the show, but in the movie, was, I forget his name, Dr. Dillamond.
Okay.
This is Peter Dinklage. Peter Dinklage is the GOAT.
He really is the GOAT.
Now, for me, and I think this is what you get out of Wicked what you bring to it. Mm-hmm. I like a good... What's the word I'm looking for?
I don't know.
A good propaganda piece.
Okay. So you like a bit of a political narrative going in there somewhere.
Not too much, but an undercurrent of it for sure. I think that's why I like Star Wars so much.
Yeah. Here,
it's quite good and it's quite prominent. Mm-hmm. Some people in the early reviews have said it's too political.
But I don't feel like it It is so much, because I feel like all they're doing is expanding a little bit more on what the show already brings to the table. But what I always find annoying is that the show gets to Act 2...
And drops it.
And completely seems to drop it. And you're like, why aren't we fighting for that anymore? Instead we're fighting for these fucking shoes.
Mm-hmm. I think that's a case of the show would be too long if it closed all the plot holes. So at some point you've got to drop something. I think we're blessed that the film might pick some bits up and drop some.
I'm hoping it does. I'm hoping it expands on that a little bit more.
Yeah. Essentially, The Wizard of Oz, this is a prequel to The Wizard of Oz. Mm-hmm. If we're connecting them. Fingers crossed, I think this film is the one to bridge that gap. Because the show doesn't do it well. However, the animals in this talk. This is why we get the lion and stuff like this. And there are animal professors at the university, which is called Shiz, which is always ridiculous. Mm-hmm. And the animals, the talking animals, are a dying breed, essentially. Yeah, so it's essentially Oz used to be, but more like Narnia. Yes. So, but now, there's a moment in it where, I'd say there's two scenes, where Dr. Dillerman's doing a class, and then he flips the chalkboard, and someone's graffitied on it, animals should be seen and not heard, And then there's a look of like, oh, that class is finished. Who's done? Yeah, it's absolutely... to get that kind of terror on like a CGI goat is absolutely great. It's good. It's up there with Drag Me to Hell's CGI goat, thank you very much. Is it though? I'd say so. Oh, no. Dinklage's performance is quite good as well. He is the goat. You don't get Dinklage and he does a bad job. No, he always knows what to do. Yeah, and I felt it in his performance, and and it's a good CGI on the goat, like you said. And then there's a scene later where the animals there's like a little resistance going on with all these talking animals that are left. Yeah, and they're all worried as well. Yeah, all that is interesting to me. Mm-hmm. Have I told you about my work colleagues recently? No. They've essentially gone, oh, we're not fussed about Wicked. And I've basically had to go, there's a lot more to it than you'd think. And I've explained all this Dillerman stuff and animal stuff, and they've gone, that sounds great. I think that's the way in for people who aren't musical fans. That's what they will, I really liked all that stuff. But there's not enough of that in there to keep non-musical fans in that story, because Wicked really is about the relationship between these two women. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I've always found that a little bit, and again, not to spoil that too, but do we ever find out what happened to Dr. Dillerman? No, but we find out who did that on the chalkboard, and then that opens up another can of worms. Yeah, the film then follows. Yeah, but the show follows anyway. We don't know what the film's going to be like. Did you feel it ever dragged? There's parts of the show drag for me, and it was starting to drag around that same part as well. Where is that? When did I go to the toilet? When Dillerman got taken away. Oh yeah, because I find the scene where they go and break the cup out. Yeah. I find that, I don't know why I find that drags. Okay. I found it dragged at the disco that they went to. It's because Dancing Through Life goes on for longer than my life. They dance through all my life in that. Dancing through everyone's lives. It's like, fucking hell, you're nearly done yet. I'm 60. They go to this... Okay, at this point, Elphaba and Glinda don't like each other. But they're roommates, which is the whole song that we had earlier on. And then they go to a ball, and Elphaba shows up with the hat. She pulls it over her eyes, which I thought was very ironic. But she does a dance, and... She does a really weird, like, birdie song kind of vibe. She does the birdie song, yeah. It's like, Elphaba, what are you doing, mate? You don't just go to a random disco and start doing the birdie song. I found it cringy until it wasn't. Yeah, and I don't know if it was meant to be like that, if it was meant to be awkward and weird until someone else steps in. And because you're doing it then with somebody else and then someone else, it becomes less weird. Yeah, and then their relationship changes from that point. I thought that was quite nice. Yeah. But then that's when the film dipped for me, because that went on for too long. Mm-hmm. Them just doing this little birdie dance together. It's like, we get it, they're mates now. Yeah, we get it. They've had this connection. They've had this bond. Now, off you folk. I'm ready for the next scene. Why did Elphaba... Plot twist. No, spoiler alert. Why did Elphaba give Glinda Morrible's blessing? Right, so Nessa Rose comes up to her, and doesn't she? And says, oh, Glinda arranged... Like, she's told Bok to ask me out, and now I'm so happy. She's a really nice person. Okay. So when... Hold on. So when Elphaba then goes to the room and Glinda gives her the hat, that further strengthens her belief. Okay.
that Glinda could be a good person, so she asks her.
But Glinda gives her the hat to take the piss out of her, right?
She gives her the hat because she doesn't want it, because she thinks it's fucking horrible.
Okay.
I don't necessarily thought she was going to show up at the ball wearing it.
Yeah. Oh, you don't really care what anyone thinks.
Because ultimately they break out of school to go there.
Yeah.
I don't think they was expecting Elphaba just to turn up.
Okay. With that line, she doesn't... Elphaba's doing the birdie song.
Also, who wears a fucking hat to a ball?
Is that your problem with this?
Yeah, like, don't get yourself a nice little head, like a nice little fascinator or something. You don't need a full-on hat, mate.
Yeah. When Jonathan Bailey, when she's doing the birdie dance, Jonathan Bailey whispers to Ariana Grande, "Oh, she doesn't care what anyone thinks."
Yeah.
I was like, okay, that's fine, but that's not what Cynthia Erivo's been telling me.
Yeah, and nor is it clear on her face either that that's what she's feeling. She looks devastated.
Because she walks into this disco, and she looks like she's so sad. The saddest to ever sad. Mm-hmm. And she's been sad before, and when there was like an explosion of her powers, quite early in the movie, mm-hmm. she looks sad then. Mm-hmm. It's like, well, you clearly do think what people are saying about you. You
do care what people are saying about you.
Yeah. So, I don't know, that bit wasn't quite as strong. Mm-hmm. I think that's bad direction.
Yeah.
But I think that's me picking at straws.
Maybe, yeah.
That's what I reckon. Elphaba's got powers.
I had no idea.
Yeah, she's a big wicked witch.
And I think it's obvious as well, even though Madame Marable says in that first scene, it was me who did that. I think it's so obvious all the way through the film that it's Elphaba to other students. Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously we know as the audience.
Yeah.
It's like, guys, you almost know that she's fucking, like, you don't mess with her.
There was a good bit of foreshadowing I liked in that, mm-hmm. where there was like a crest on the wall.
Yeah.
And it was of the wizard.
Yeah.
And then when Elphaba has this this blowout, it falls off, mm-hmm. and it's a picture of like loads of animals.
Of the animals all like almost in like adult clothes.
Yeah, and I just thought, oh, that's
really telling.
Yeah, that's really good. This wizard, man. Oh. The Wizard of Oz. We said it in the Tom and Jerry episode.
He's a dick.
He's a dick. He's a con man.
That's all he is. He got lucky. He turned up in Oz on that fucking balloon, mm-hmm. and all these dickheads believed him. They were like, oh, he can conjure money from his hand. Oh, it came out of my ear. How did he do that?
When you watched it, the movie, I'm not talking about the show so much, but did you forget that the wizard was a con man?
No.
Were you always like, he's a liar?
Yes. However, there's a scene at the beginning of the show which I kind of guessed, mm-hmm. but also made sense. But then why was he going around doing that if he already came as the wizard?
Well, he then later came as the wizard.
Why would you need to be going around doing what he's doing?
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. I do like how this film starts.
Yeah.
Straight up with a little, oh, this is the end of the movie.
Yeah, it's how the show starts as well.
Yeah. And it's not a great song, but it's good when you've got the weight of what comes later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we know what comes later. We're blessed with that. If you didn't know what comes later, none of this is going to make any sense.
No.
Because you're going to be like, oh, she's dead and we're celebrating. Ha, ha, ha. And then, oh, hang on, the mate's now.
Yeah, like, why?
What happens in the next? What could possibly happen in the next one?
I mean, again, we actually get to see bits of the Wizard of Oz in this as well, because it does foreshadow Dorothy going back on the Yellow Brick Road, you see her holding the broom.
But that comes after the witch has already died.
Exactly, but that's right in the beginning of the film. Do you see what I'm getting at?
So Dorothy's walking around. Oh, they're taking the broom back to the wizard. Right, yeah.
But I can't remember who she was on the Yellow Brick Road with. She wasn't just because when you think about it, when she goes back to the Emerald City, she's with the Tin Man, the Scarecrow, the Lion, and her doggy. However, when this story, we're not spoiling it for people. Yeah. But when we get Act 2, not all those people would have been with her.
No.
If that was to happen that way.
This is why I think the film has a lot of work to do. If the people behind it go, okay, we're going to fix those plot holes, because they are glaring plot holes.
Yeah.
Now's the time.
Yeah.
I would like to think they would do it. However, I think you have to have the Wizard of Oz in it at some point. Not the character, Dorothy and all those familiar characters, because they're recognisable.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that it's good how it tries to tie those characters into Wicked. However, two of them especially, I don't feel like they fit, and there's a lot of glaring plot holes around them getting there.
I'd argue that three of them don't fit, because the lion wouldn't be... Sorry.
I think it's alleged that the lion is that lion.
He's a teenage lion. he's full-on Simba in it at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's cowardly. Oh. I don't like the...
Oh, he ran straight back into the Mufasa movie.
Yeah.
It's out in December.
Oh, okay. Sponsored by the Mufasa movie, I guess. I did like... I found it weird that we got the inventor of the cage.
Oh, yeah. This is a cage.
Yeah. So this guy comes into Shiz, and Dillerman's been taken away. This is what you missed. And then you came back. And then they get a substitute teacher, and they go, okay, animals are bad. I've invented this contraption. And he just points to a cage. And I thought, we know what cages, mate. We're not fucking idiots.
Yeah, but why would animals be bad?
Yeah. All the while, Elphaba's mastering her powers, and Madame Morrible thinks, I know someone who can use them. And let me get in touch with a big old whiz boy. That's what she says in the movie.
Yeah, I know someone who can assist, who can sort you out.
So, once it gets into the Emerald City, this film's a completely different film, and it's a banger.
It's great.
Credit to them, by the way, for making most of these sets themselves. Mm-hmm. Not the CGI involved.
Of course there is, yeah. You don't want to get flying monkeys that are, yeah. Come on, guys.
Are you telling me those weren't real flying monkeys?
They weren't, unfortunately.
Oh, I thought they were just guys in suits like...
yeah.
1932.
No, they
Okay.
decided to go for CGI.
Ah, well, the more you know, I guess. Anyway. But, what was my point? They built some of these sets. You know where those kids are running through the tulip fields and they're multicoloured? They planted those.
I love that.
And the Munchkin Land was built. I think the train was?
Yeah, I think the train was. It looked like it was anyway.
Yeah. I think it had to be. Otherwise it's just on green screen.
And
which would be tough.
One thing I will say though about that particular number one, what's it called?
One Fine Day? One Short Day?
One Short Day in the Emerald City.
Hey, Emerald City?
The Emerald City didn't slap as hard as it did, weirdly, as it did on the show for me. But that's because during the show, everything goes green in the theatre, and obviously you can't do that in a movie screen. That's going to be hard.
That would be insane because they tried that in Megalopolis and it didn't work.
It did not work.
No,
it sucked Megacocolis.
Hey, there we go.
But no, but that was probably one of the only scenes that didn't slap quite as much as I wanted it to.
But it was good.
It was, but we get something in that scene that wasn't. I think people will like it. It wasn't for me. And it wasn't for you either, was it?
I know which scene we're talking about. Mm-hmm. Okay.
We get a... I don't want to spoil it for people who've not seen it.
We won't spoil it, but there's some cameos here. And fuck me, it took me out of the movie.
Yeah. While it's cute and we think it's sweet, no.
Yeah. They're featured on the soundtrack. So if you've seen who's singing those songs, you're going to know. You're
going to know who they are. But they try and bring in their own vibes to do with Wicked, and we could do without it. Yeah. Truth be told.
Let me bring up an example of what should have happened. Mm-hmm. That shouldn't have happened.
Yeah. So you could have cut all that. You could have had someone else do that particular scene.
There was a famous interview with Julie Andrews. Mm-hmm. This ties in when Emily Blunt got Mary Poppins, mm-hmm. and there was going to be a cameo for Julie Andrews. And Julie Andrews said, it's not my moment anymore.
Yeah.
It's someone else's. Mm-hmm. The same rule should apply.
Yes. So, and I feel like that should have happened in this. And while it wasn't a big deal, it felt like one of those tacky TV shows, like Ant and Dec's Takeaway.
Yeah.
Where they do a musical theatre number and then all of a sudden the stars from that show appear and surprise the singer.
There is a difference between stage and screen acting.
Yeah.
The Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande, they're there for the screen.
Yeah.
These cameos are purely for the stage. And it just, I don't think it gels.
No. I think it pulls you out. Mm. While they look great, it just wasn't needed.
No.
Nice that you're doing well, but no.
Yeah, it's good to see you, but fuck off.
I say good to see you. It would have been good to see you on one of those kinds of shows. It's not. I don't really need to see you here.
I see what you mean. Then we get the puppet. Now.
Oh, someone loves a puppet.
I'll say it. I said it before. I'll say it again. I like me a puppet. Straight up, from the Muppets to just any old sock puppet to big contraptions with wheels and stuff.
Everyone, James turns his socks into puppets.
I turn my socks into puppets. Vibe. I love me a puppetry. when we saw Wicked, I knew that was going to happen. I knew that's what it looked like. Mm-hmm. But that was something else.
Yeah, so what is that, James?
Well, that's the wizard. Okay, so this interpretation of the wizard isn't the projection on the loads of smoke.
With the smoke, no.
He's a big old face.
Yeah, so he's a steampunk mechanical face.
Yeah. And on stage, well, in the trailer for the musical anyway, I thought that was going to be massive. I thought that was going to come out over the audience.
No.
It turns out it was just on a little platform.
But it was still cool.
Still great. I'm glad they kept it. Fuck me, am I glad they kept it.
Yeah.
And I think they built it. I think that's real.
I think that's great. I bet Mr. Goldblum has got that in his house somewhere.
I think Jeff Goldblum just had that before this movie was ever made.
It was like, can we borrow your statue, please?
Yeah. Have you got your Jeff, can we have your statue? And he's like, yes. My face on a statue.
We get his face on a cliff in this, which was unexpected.
I knew Jeff Goldblum was in this. Mm-hmm. I know where he is at all times.
Everyone should know where Jeff Goldblum is at all times.
He could crop up at any moment. Fucking Goldblum.
You never know when there's a Goldblum around.
You're never too far away from a Goldblum.
No.
We share a birthday, me and Jeff.
You do. No, what I was talking about, we get a bit of in The Wizard and I, where Elphaba goes into like some sort of cave, and there's just this Mount Rushmore
statue,
carved face of Jeff Goldblum in this rock, and it's like, mate.
At that point, I think it would have been a great twist if we didn't know Jeff was in it.
Yeah, he was the wizard, but like, fuck it, why is he there?
That's Jeff Goldblum, that's cool. But we've seen his face on rock.
Yeah.
Which again, I think he has in his garage.
I think, may we borrow your rock, please?
And he's like, yes. That's my Jeff. Did you like it?
Very, very good. Both times were great.
I'm the Wizard of Oz. That's how he talks.
He was a good wizard. I feel like he did the job.
Let me tell you for a fact that when we saw it, the musical, the wizard, fuck me, old, boring.
Oh, he was. It was everything. It wasn't. When I think of the wizard, he is this con man.
Yeah.
And while he is older in the actual Wizard of Oz movie itself, obviously Also Great and Powerful has a different kind of Oz because we have a different. Also, he's a different age.
Yeah.
It's nice to have someone who's not too old,
but not young either.
So you think, oh well, we just got there.
Yeah.
I feel like he felt like he was more the Oz I was expecting.
Okay.
Again, I was expecting this Walt Disney-esque character, and he even does a kind of a homage to that, where he's like, "This is the Oz of tomorrow," and he's built it, and it looks just exactly like Tomorrowland. It's fabulous.
I think it really benefits that we've watched those documentaries recently, because I saw it as well. Anyway, turns out...
I don't think that's an accident.
No, it can't be.
No.
And if that's the case, then that's the best Jeff Goldblum's acted in about 15 years. But who am I? Anyway, then it turns out there's a twist that the wizard is involved in most of stuff.
Yeah, so he's been involved with what's happening with the animals.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, as we know anyway, he doesn't really hold any power whatsoever. He's got to hold the power through how a lot of politicians do, through popularity and through fear.
Yes.
And when you say through fear, is that his public need to be scared of something in which he can be the saviour and the hero.
Yeah.
And he's using the animals as a scapegoat. They're the problem.
What goat?
The scapegoat.
Yeah. Dillamond, yeah. Dillamond. Anyway, then it really takes a turn and it moves quick. I don't remember the musical doing that.
It does.
Okay. But I'm wrong. But yeah, in the film, it's like, oh, it's revealed you're the villain. Everything's going to happen now.
Yeah. And
like we said before, Defying Gravity, even though it's a great song, it shouldn't have paused so much.
No, but I will like the fact that when they create Elphaba into being this villain, and Madame Marble is the one displaying the message, I like the fact it travels in the weather. I thought it was really clever.
What do you mean?
She'd released it, hadn't she? Like, you don't go around like there's this dangerous person, whatever. That news was spreading via a storm cloud.
Oh, okay.
And all the lightning was green because they were seeing it at Shiz University, and everyone was coming out and looking at it.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't pick.
I thought that was really cool.
Oh, okay.
Because as well, the scene was building as well, because Defying Gravity had already fucking started, and we're about a good half an hour in. We're a good 10 minutes left of the song.
Yeah. Essentially, Defying Gravity could start at the same time the actual film does, and then they'd still end up. To be fair,
Defying Gravity could start at the same time I'm born, and it still wouldn't be ended by the time my life ended.
Yeah, I think we're just on the key change at this moment in time.
Like, fucking hell. I'm 80.
But the thing is, Defying Gravity is the song people go to see Wicked for. It didn't hit for me in this, and it's not Erivo's singing. I can't fault it. She's great. I do like that she's doing something different with her crescendo. I think she had to.
Yeah, I think it's too famous, that particular last note.
We do hear it earlier in the film as well, the actual crescendo, and it's baffling that they do that.
Yeah.
Because it reminds you of that.
Of what we are going to hear later, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, but the fact that, okay, this song, if you listen to the Broadway soundtrack, this song builds momentum and it builds and builds and builds. But when you build it for a bit and you bring it down, and you build it for a bit and you bring it down.
This flattened out more than it needed to.
Yeah, you're edging the audience, which is not a good thing. Don't edge them.
I mean, edge you to something that's going to be good.
Yeah.
And while they did, it kept going flat too many times.
There's a moment where she jumps out of the window and she's falling. She hasn't got a broom. She's not defying gravity at that point.
No, and to be honest, I know why they did the scene where she's looking in the window and she's seeing a reflection of herself as a child.
Yeah.
We still didn't need it.
You didn't need it, and also, who cares?
And not being funny, but now you've taken me out of the song.
Yeah. Because it crescendos, and then she smashes the mirror, and then the music goes soft again. And it's like...
But it stops, doesn't it, almost?
Yeah.
Oh.
And then it's into the big crescendo. It's like we can't just dip in. We have to... Again, build and build and build.
If she'd have just crashed out the window and have gone straight into it, that'd have been perfect.
If she'd have gone literally just flying, whatever, you don't have to show that she has to master it.
Yeah.
Let her do it. Fine. My only gripes, the cameo and that,
yeah.
I think, that's why I brought it down a star on my letterbox.
I didn't feel like it needed to come down a star enough for them.
Okay.
That's why I only did half a star down, because I feel like Grande,
was
Cynthia's
great.
Performance, etc. I couldn't fault any of it. I thought it was fabulous. It was a complete feast for the eyes.
Mm-hmm. And the ears.
It really was.
Yeah.
It was everything I wanted Wonka to be last year.
Wonka was not that. We've done an episode on Wonka, but
Fuck me.
that was bad. That was a bad movie.
Shout out to Noodle, the worst character ever put to screen. No hate to the actress playing her, by the way. You were fine.
You were great.
But whoever wrote your character...
Needs to go back to school.
Yeah.
Are you excited for the next one?
I am. However, I know for a fact that I find Act 2 bores the fuck out of me.
Okay.
There's only maybe 2 songs I really like in it.
There are no songs in Act 2 that I remember. And that's a problem. Yeah. We've peaked. We've peaked with the end of Act 1. I
think as well, the issue that we've got is that I don't feel like any of the songs in Act 2 are quite... None of them are on the same heights as Defying Gravity.
Yeah. But that's the same I had the same issue with the musical as well. Because Act 2 started, and I was just like, well, I can go home now. I've seen what I needed to.
Yeah, that's done what it needed to now.
Yeah. It would be interesting to see... this is tracking to make quite a lot of money opening weekend.
I hope it does.
And I think it will, yeah. But I don't think those people are going to come back.
I don't know. I think some of the people will come back because they're theatre fans.
I'm talking about the average Joe.
I don't see the average Joe coming back unless you get people that absolutely adore it.
Yeah.
But it's are you going to get a lot of repeat business from your theatre fans?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Because already there was people next to us going, we're seeing that again tomorrow.
You're seeing that again tomorrow.
I am seeing that again tomorrow.
Yeah.
But there's already people rebooking tickets to see it again.
Yeah.
And that girl actually said to it, I could watch that every day.
Which is bonkers.
But that's what people were like with some of these Marvel movies. And then that's exactly what happened with Dune 2. It kept getting repeat business over and over and over again. Something about it was keeping people at the cinema to watch it.
It's a film you have to go and see at the cinema. It's not a streaming one.
No, I agree.
It'll be dangerous once it does come out on streaming because I imagine every 4-year-old's just going to make it their personality for months.
Yeah, I feel like every TikTok video, I mean, Instagram's already becoming quite full of it at the moment. It's going to be even worse.
Yeah. But
and just a bit of a shout out there as well, guys. If you are going to go to the cinema to see it, a bit of theatre etiquette. Do not fucking sing the songs. I
think we got lucky in ours.
We got lucky in our screening, yeah, because we didn't get people singing it.
We were in a sold out screen.
We were indeed. I mean, it looked like at one point we was going to have someone who was going to be a bit disruptive in singing, but luckily they shut the fuck up. And I think they heard me very early on say,
if anyone sings this, I'm going to take a knife to them.
That's not what I said.
That's what you said.
No, it wasn't. I was like, I'm going to go to the front of the screen and take a piss in front of everybody.
Okay.
I'm gonna look you all in the eye when I do it. But no, it was like I paid to see these people fucking sing.
Yeah.
I didn't pay to hear you.
There are instances of singing happening in screens, but we're British. It's an American thing, that.
Yeah, but if you do by any means feel the need to sing in a screen that is not a sing-along screen, and you're not there by your lonesome, keep it for the car on the way home.
Yeah.
Sing it in the shower.
Yeah.
Wait for a sing-along screening, but do not ruin other people's fucking experience having to listen to your badass sing popular. Poorly.
Yeah. They said quite early on that they were going to do sing-along screenings. I think they're going to move them up.
Yeah.
I think they'll play them side by side, quite honestly.
Well, I think the theatre fans are going to want it.
Yeah. And they're good business. La La Land did well. When I worked at the cinema, that was fine. That stayed there forever. Great Showman did well. Do you think now is the time to start advertising musicals as musicals?
Yes.
It's baffling that Hollywood just doesn't do that anymore.
Well, they're worried it just won't make money.
I don't think this was ever going to be a problem.
I feel like they was worried it was not going to make some money, though, because obviously it's an expensive film to make.
Oh, yeah.
And movie musicals haven't always done very well.
No, that's true. But Wizard of Oz movies they haven't done very well. Between Tom and Jerry. But
maybe that's just one or so.
Yeah, I think it's quite telling that the Oz films that haven't done well, Return to Oz and Oz the Great and the Powerful, weren't musicals.
People want to see you sing in Oz.
Yeah.
That's the place you go to sing.
And if you want that, you can get that in the Tom and Jerry special. Is this better than Space Jam?
Yes.
Yes, it is. It is. It was good, but it wasn't great for me.
I disagree. I really did enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
There's parts of it that I couldn't give it a full star for.
Okay. What lets it down for you?
For me, I still find bits of it are a little bit like not all the songs hit for me.
Okay.
And I can't hide my feeling about that.
What is this feeling?
I can't find this feeling anymore.
Oh, that's a very different musical.
It is indeed.
But yeah, we made it to Wicked.
Yay! It's been a very, very long day, and I've also so far managed to collect 2 separate different Glinda cups and popcorn buckets.
Yeah.
And I'm going to make a Holy Trinity tomorrow.
Okay, so essentially you've watched... We didn't even watch Wicked when we went to... We watched Heretic, and you were like, I want that.
Wicked, there's me watching Heretic with my Glinda cup, like, hello!
So you Cineworlded it. We did a Arc Cinema, which is an independent one close to us, and it's Odeon time for you tomorrow.
Odeon's for me tomorrow, so they don't have the same Glinda Fabulousness cups. Theirs are a little bit crap, but we've got a different... It's a different Oz cup, and do you know what? I want to see that.
Are you fully invested in the world of Oz now?
I always was.
If ever Arista was.
Because.
Because of the wonderful things he does.
Like what? Taking all the rights away from animals? What a dick.
No, because he does that little shuffle out of the bottom of his trousers.
Oh, weirdo.
But yeah, those aren't Jeff Goldblum's legs. I'm going to put that in a t-shirt. Show me his real legs.
Show me Jeff Goldblum's legs.
But yeah, we made it to Wicked. I can't remember what was next, but bear with us because it might be something different. We are
all over the shop now, so we need to get a set plan in place. It's been a busy few months.
Like a monkey in Oz, we are winging it.
Absolutely.
Very good. But thanks for listening, guys. Enjoy Wicked. We hope you do, because it is good.
It is good, yeah. It's a good film. I think it's a nice family film.
Yeah. Apart from the whole...
I think it'll make you feel a bit... It's got a bit of a Christmassy vibe to it, even if it's not got any snow in it or anything like that.
It's the green, isn't it, that does it?
Maybe. I feel like it's taking over that Wonka space from last year.
Yeah. Have fun with it. We did. You're going again tomorrow, so...
I am. Yeah. So I'm going to see how it hits the second time around. See if those songs still slap. And see if I need to actually slap someone for singing.
Yeah, I think you will. Okay. But thanks for listening, guys, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.